Scott Pilgrim is a bassist of the Toronto band Sex Bomb. He's also dating a 17-year-old high schooler named Knives Chow. Scott had been having dreams about another girl named Ramona Flowers. Scott actually meets his dream girl, Ramona, at a party. Nothing really comes from the conversation at the party, though. Scott orders a DVD from Netflix because apparently Canada still uses DVDs. Just kidding, I know it's just a goofy joke from Netflix. Relax, Canada. Turns out Ramona works as a DVD delivery girl. Scott asks her out. During this date, they're unaware that they're being monitored by Gideon Graves, the leader of Ramona's League of Evil Exes. Scott learns he must defeat them in order to date Ramona. But Gideon ends up sending his lowest-ranked League member, Matthew Patel, to kill Scott at a Sex Bomb show, and apparently obliterates Scott early in the battle, though. Despite beating Scott, Ramona actually rejects Matthew. Ramona actually ends up blaming herself for the death of Scott. Realizing this contradicts the League's rules, promising the victor's right to date Ramona. Matthew summons the 6 other League members to a meeting in New York City, during which Gideon reveals the League's true purpose for him to monopolize Ramona's affection. Matthew challenges Gideon for leadership of the League over his deception, which Matthew wins after a lengthy battle, forcing Gideon to relinquish control of his massive media conglomerate. Meanwhile, following Scott's funeral, which is disrupted by his ex-girlfriend pop star Envy Adams, Ramona hears Scott's voice in her dreams and realizes he may still be alive. Young Neil, the roommate of Sex Bomb's vocalist Stephen Stills, is coaxed by Scott's death into writing a screenplay for a feature film. He wakes in the middle of the night to see a mysterious figure writing the rest of it and finds it completed the next morning. Ramona reviews the security footage of the night Scott was killed, discovering that he was pulled into a portal just before Matthew struck him. Stephen's ex-girlfriend Julie Powers points her towards Sex Bomb drummer Scott's ex-girlfriend Kim Pine, whom Ramona removes as a suspect when Kim expresses respect for her pursuit of Scott. Ramona is suddenly attacked by Roxy Richter. During their fight, Ramona apologizes for the callous way she broke up with her, and the two reconcile. A despondent Gideon approaches Julie, revealing his identity as her old classmate, Gordon Goose, and she warmly welcomes him. Ramona visits evil ex and famous actor Lucas Lee and asks if he has anything to do with the portal. Lucas has been cast in a titular role in Neil's film, Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, which theorizes what could have happened if Scott beat Matthew. Scott's roommate Wallace Wells is cast as himself. Lucas and Ramona are attacked by the paparazzi. He is discovered to be dating the actress playing Knives. After a long battle that wears Lucas down, he and Ramona make up and she sneaks him out of the studio. As he is dropped by his agent, he confirms to Ramona that he has nothing to do with the portal. Evil ex Todd Ingram, Envy's bandmate and boyfriend and superpowered vegan, arrives by portal to audition for Scott, leaving Ramona suspicious. As Ramona's cast as Envy, who is playing Ramona's stunt double, Wallace seduces Todd. Envy makes Ramona fight Wallace's stunt double while he informs Todd that their affair was only a fling and he does not care about him, causing him to listlessly break the vegan code and lose his powers. As Envy and Ramona try to talk sense into him, the latter shows them the footage and Envy concludes that the portal was not Todd's. Matthew, the studio's new owner, shuts down production and reveals to Ramona that Gordon is dating Julie. Gordon befriends a jobless Lucas. Ramona confronts Julie, who explains that Gordon has been too depressed to plot anything against Scott. And as they come back to Julie's house, a robot that has been following Ramona runs out. Stephen and Knives give Matthew the idea to turn Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life into a play with himself playing Scott. Ramona realizes that evil exes, the Katanagi twins, created the robot to be vegan and had it create the portal. Sex Bombs informed her that Neil didn't write the screenplay and that the file information reveals it was written 14 years in the future. Scott turns up on Ramona's doorstep, validating her theory but claiming to have set the whole thing up himself. During the fight with Matthew, Scott is taken into the future by his future self, who explains that after defeating the League, he and Ramona got married but later divorced. He started a band with the twins who had the robot pull Scott into the future. Aiming to erase his past pain, old Scott refuses to take him back until he gives up on Ramona. Scott watches Ramona's journey of trying to save him through the robot. He approaches old Ramona, who reveals that she took old Neil's memoir he wrote about them, adapted it into a screenplay, traveled back in time, and planted it on his computer. With both of them moved by Ramona's efforts, old Ramona takes Scott back to the past. After explaining this, Scott apologizes to Knives and tries to kiss Ramona. They find there's a force field between their lips. Suspecting the League, they head to Matthew's play, Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Musical. Scott and Ramona determine that none of the evil exes are behind the field. During the play, a deranged, even older Scott teleports Scott, his friends Ramona, and the League away, revealing himself as the one who created the field. Since Scott refuses to give up on Ramona, he intends to kill them all. The group fights him, but everyone is sent back except Scott and Ramona. The fight is interrupted by an older Ramona who reveals that she still loved him when they separated, but is disgusted by his current state. Ramona decides she is done running from what she loves and embraces her old self, merging and becoming Super Ramona, who sends older Scott back to the future and successfully kisses Scott. They return to the play where Gordon and Julie are caught trying to bomb the stage, but Matthew instead returns his properties, tired of the stress they cause. Matthew continues work as a stage actor. Lucas takes up as a barista with Scott's sister. Roxy helps Todd train to maintain his vegan powers. The Katanagi twins continue to work in the robotics. Wallace finds a boyfriend in Paris after taking a vacation with his film money. Knives joins Sex Bomb as a keyboardist, with Envy occasionally collaborating with him. Ramona continues to work as a stunt double. In a mid-credit scene, Gordon and Julie seemingly plot against Scott and Ramona. Hello everyone, this is my first time doing something like this, so please let me know what you think. Leave a comment of any ways I could improve this, or if there's anything else you want me to cover. I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. Make sure to, like, subscribe, whatever you gotta do, just to let me know that what I'm doing isn't a complete waste of time. Thank you guys.